Hey guys, it's Derek here. Have you ever wanted to pick up a resin statue before, but never knew where to start? Or what websites to use, what resources, or even what even the heck is resin? Yeah, I'm gonna try to help answer all that and guide you through the process. Yeah, let's get to it. First off, what even really is resin? It's very similar to your PVC figures that you see basically everywhere. The only major differences are, well, the material choice itself. Instead of plastic, it's made out of resin, meaning it can be extra heavy or even a little bit more brittle than typical PVC plastic. They're also made in much smaller batches and have edition sizes of sometimes less than 500 units worldwide. You won't really find these sold on normal anime figure websites. They have entire websites dedicated to them, and that's also because they come in two distinct flavors, being licensed and unlicensed. To sum it up nicely, a licensed piece is when the studio goes and acquires the rights to not only design, but manufacture and sell said piece legally. Unlicensed merchandise is, well, technically not legal, but make no mistake, unlicensed resin statues have some of the best designs out there, and even though they're not technically legal, they're not what you would consider a counterfeit, because they're not taking a licensed piece one-to-one and recreating it. Usually they just have the same character and they have a different design. Quality is kind of up in the air. Some studios will have equal quality to a licensed one, and in other cases, you're going to see major differences. Small things like packaging will be a little bit better on your licensed pieces. You'll get extras like instruction manuals, sometimes gloves to put everything together, or even makeup brushes to kind of clean everything off. Whereas the unlicensed piece, you kind of have to figure it out with pictures online, and that can get a little bit difficult if you have a lot of clear effect parts you need to put in. I've experienced that a few times and it's not fun. So instructions are very, very welcome, although you can eventually figure it out. And like how most goods are produced these days, these are also going to be made in factories in China. Both licensed and unlicensed are going to be made there. So yeah, don't feel too bad if it's made from there. Quality can still be pretty decent. Now that we have a decent understanding of what resin is and the different types, let's talk about some good online resources that you guys can use. If it is a licensed piece, you might be able to find it on MFC, My Figure Collection, and if it's not on there and it's an unlicensed piece, you got to dig around a little bit more. Places like Facebook groups are really, really good. I'm in a few myself. Or you can also use YouTube, which is, what it's meant for. You can learn off of here. There's usually someone unboxing what you're looking for, so just type it in and search it up. And lastly, there are a lot of Discord servers that also help with this too. You can ask a lot of questions, see what other people have been saying, and just kind of dig around, get a good feel for what you may be purchasing. And speaking of Discord servers, I'm also launching my very own as well. So if you guys are interested, definitely go check it out and join up. Link up. Let's link up. Moving over to where to purchase all of this, I've actually made a video kind of outlining where I buy my anime figures and my resin statues. So I'll leave that linked in the card and down below and everything, so you guys can go check that out. But I'll also have all the websites that I think are good and decent to go purchase from. So feel free to poke around the description. I'll link everything I can. So you've gone and done your research, you figured out what you like, and you may have even chose a website that you want to be loyal to. Congratulations, you've gone pretty far now. However, you're probably wondering, how do you order these things? There's tons of numbers everywhere, prices everywhere, and you may not have pre-ordered at least resin before. It's a little bit different. Typically, for the pre-order period for resin, you're gonna have to put down a deposit. Unlike anime figure websites that typically will let you pay later, all at the very end, these guys kind of need a little something from you up front. It's usually just a small amount or like a portion, just to make sure that you're in for the long haul. If you do end up changing your mind and want to get a cancellation, these are usually never free. Expect to pay at least 30% or even the entire deposit amount. Make sure the policy on the website states it clearly and you don't fall into any traps that way. That's bad. If you go with the deposit up front structure, you'll have to end up paying the rest of it when it's supposed to be released. Option number 2 though is with a monthly plan. You can pay everything off every single month and slowly chip away at your total. This is a great option, especially if you're getting a licensed piece that is massive and you don't want to cough off all of the money right away. However, if you are ballin', option number 3 is probably your option. You can just pay in full right off the bat and not have to worry about anything else, except for the shipping. You'll have to pay for the shipping at a later point in time, but hey, it shouldn't matter to you much anyways. Not to scare you guys though, but I do recommend trying to secure anything you're interested in right away via pre-order, or during the pre-order window at least. Just because of the limited nature of everything, it makes things really difficult to get in the aftermarket or after it's released, and typically websites will start price gouging like crazy, so just be warned. Another thing I want to let you guys in on is delays in production times. This actually happens more often than you think, and if you are expecting something to come in September, for example, well, maybe budget it to like the beginning of next year. This has happened to me countless times already. Unless it's an officially licensed piece, those usually come out right on time every time, but if it's unlicensed, they usually take some liberties with the delivery window. As for your shipping options, I would say 90% of everything that you buy will be via surface parcel, meaning it's going to be traveling by boat and take anywhere between 3, 5, or 6 months to get to you. It's going to be the most cost-effective method, especially if things are like almost 100 pounds. You're really not going to want to use anything else to get it to you. However, if you do fancy burning a bit of money, you could buy a resin statue off of sites like Prime One, Figurama, Sume. All these are officially licensed websites for the things that they make and produce and sell. These guys usually only use like DHL, FedEx, and like EMS. So yeah, they fly your resin statue to you, meaning it's gonna cost you a lot more. So just be warned, if you are buying from any of those websites, you will be charged an arm and a leg on top of everything else already. So the day finally comes, you've waited many months for that doorbell to ring, and the delivery driver is dropping off your resin statue. It's a great day. Sometimes they will ask for customs during this time, and sometimes they won't. I would say most of the time they won't, but that also depends on where you're buying everything from. The unboxing process is actually really fun. I do highly recommend getting another person to help you move everything though. Things can get kind of heavy, you might pull your back. Just want to be a little bit safe, you know, especially anyone who's over the age of 30. I'm looking out for your health here. I understand. But one thing that you do want to do when you are about to unbox everything is take out your phone, take some pictures, take a video even, just to see what kind of state the box is in. I highly recommend it as a good practice anyways with any kind of package you get. And even some resin manufacturers or some resin studios will even tell you to do that. And this is all because you want to document as best you can how the condition of the thing came. So if anything breaks or is missing, they know right away and can help supply you with replacements, some refunds maybe, or just help you out in general. Aftercare is very important, and that's one thing I do recommend. Film your entire unboxing experience if possible, and that way, if anything does go wrong, your email has a lot of proof behind it and they can help you out. In the event that the website you purchased from can't help you out or refuses to help you out, this is when you're gonna have to get a little bit handy yourself. I recommend picking up some high quality super glue, something like Zap-A-Gap maybe, and just kind of fix it yourself. Some of the pieces will be a little harder to fix because they won't be obvious areas, but sometimes the things that fall off in shipping will more or less be pieces that they glued on themselves and the glue kind of wore off, so don't worry too much. As for display options, you're gonna have to be a little bit more creative here just because of the weight concerns. These can kind of get a little bit heavy, so I recommend things like garage storage racks or, you know, shelling out a little bit more for something custom or even high-end display cases. Anything with really high weight capacity will be the way to go. You could go with some IKEA furniture, but just be careful here and make sure you read how much weight they can hold. Otherwise, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Just a heads up. I don't know from experience, but I've heard horror stories, so just be careful here. I don't want your stuff to fall and break. And if you finally gotten to this part, that basically means you're done. There's not too much more you need to do other than maintain it, clean it once in a while, especially if it's out in the open. And yeah, you just remember the resin boxes are massive, so hopefully you have a place to put them. And there we go. That's basically my knowledge for resin collecting, hopefully passed on to you, and if it did help, please consider giving it a like. If you think I missed any points or have any other tips you want to give anyone else, leave them in the comment section down below. And I guess if you are collecting resin or have new resin pieces that you have just come in, just post them in the Discord. I think it'd be fun to share. But my name is Derek, and I will see you guys at the next video.